Hi everyone, Spider-Man 1991 here, and it is day 5 of Batman Week. And now I will be talking about Batman Earth 1. Now then, for those of you who aren't familiar, DC launched I think it was November 2010, DC launched their own line of creative graphic novels known as the Earth 1 series. They started off with Superman Earth 1, and it's basically a modern retelling of the superhero's origin. But, however, they do make some things different in these books. I mean, they are completely original tales. I mean, they're like retelling the origin, but free of like 40 years of continuity. I mean, the same thing, basic formula is still there. For example, Superman, it was Krypton explodes, Superman lands on Earth, now he's trying to figure out what to do with his life, while also trying to figure out what he's going to do with his powers. And the way that story worked was, and in this case for Batman, the story is still there. However, there is a different relationship going on between characters, such as Bruce Wayne and Alfred's relationship is definitely the biggest thing changed, and I'd say it's one of the main focuses of this book, because the way it works is Alfred wasn't initially a butler. He was actually an old friend of Thomas Wayne's who Thomas brought in as to be like his new head of security because Thomas Wayne was running for mayor. Right before his murder, and he was gonna, clean up Gotham City and stuff. And he wanted to hire Alfred for protection, mainly for his son Bruce, and also for his wife Martha. Shortly after Alfred arrives, though, they go to the movies, and basically what happens is the power gets cut at the theater, so the movie is canceled, and when everyone's trying to go out the back way, Bruce runs out the front because he thinks there's a movie theater like 2 blocks down that they could probably catch the movie there. And while Bruce runs into the alley, he hits some bum. He runs into some bum, and then the bum notices that the kid is Bruce Wayne. And then first he threatens Martha and Thomas that he's going to kill their son unless they hand over their money. And Thomas tries to get the gun away. Thomas is killed. Martha's killed. Boom! Death of the Waynes. And now since Bruce wants revenge and he's starting to become Batman, he asks Alfred, who he knows. Oh wait, before I get into this, after Thomas and Martha's murder, apparently the only reason Alfred stuck around is because they named Alfred as Bruce's legal guardian, and so at that moment, Alfred comes in, tries to talk to Bruce about what happened, and Bruce asks him like, "Who the hell are you?" And Alfred says, "Your butler." And Alfred is way different, though. He's definitely not the same Alfred we know. I mean, yeah, mainstream Alfred definitely does know how to fight a little bit, and he knows how to handle a gun. But this Alfred, man, he's a badass. And I think the way they drew him in Batman Earth 1 is a lot like, he kind of reminds me of Sean Connery. Basically, he's like basically, instead of going around the world to learn how to fight and stuff, Bruce instead stays with Gotham, and Alfred is the guy who trains him, because Alfred was apparently a soldier, and he lost his leg during the war, and Wayne Enterprises also develops medical technology such as prosthetics, and so they helped give Alfred a prosthetic leg, which, is kind of also the reason why he has a cane in this story. And so Alfred agrees to help Bruce, and then to train Bruce, and then when Bruce wants to, give his whole crusade to figure out who murdered his parents. However, Bruce already has a theory about who did it. He thinks it was Thomas's competition for mayor of Gotham City, who's also the current mayor, Oswald Cobblepot, who you all may recognize as the Penguin. So Bruce thinks that the Penguin had something to do with, Cobblepot. I'm just going to say Cobblepot because he's not called the Penguin in this book. Basically, Bruce thinks Cobblepot killed his parents. So, and since this is pretty much the beginning of Batman, he's not doing so well, okay? I mean, whereas the Batman we always know would, take out 10 guys in a room at once, this Batman can, barely handle his own against, 5 guys at best. And as far as gadgets go, like in the very first scene, Batman tries to use his grapple gun, but instead, like when he fires it, the line gets all caught up in itself, and so he goes to Wayne Enterprises and he speaks to Lucius Fox about it. And the scene is very similar to what happened in Batman Begins, was when Lucius Fox was like pushed into research and development or something, like in a basement or something in Wayne Enterprises, and so Bruce like meets him in this little like closed office and asks him to help him with his gadgets, and in exchange he'll help him. He'll help. Apparently, Fox has a niece that needs some serious medical equipment, so Bruce agrees to try to help him with that. And I mean, this is just a very different take on like not just Batman's origin story, but also Batman Year, kind of like Batman Year 1, 2, and the whole Commissioner Jim Gordon Batman relationship. It's completely non-existent. I mean, there's like one scene where they're hardly ever in the same scene together. I mean, I think if they are going to make a sequel to this, and I'll explain why in a minute, but I think they're probably going to save that idea for a sequel, like try to see if Batman tries to work with the police or something. But back to my original point, one of the biggest things about this book that I think it focuses on is the relationship between Bruce and Alfred, because when Alfred is worried about Bruce, and he does think that Bruce's idea, the way he's going after some of these men with gadgets and stuff, it's ridiculous. Alfred just basically, like when Bruce says he needs Alfred's help to get revenge, Alfred just says, okay, fine, first thing, you need to get a gun. But Bruce says, no, I'm not using any guns. And Alfred's like, okay, you're stupid. I mean, it's definitely kind of like, I mean, Alfred is trying to protect Bruce, but with like a more offensive strategy rather than him just giving up being Batman. And even though afterwards, when Cobblepot does get what's coming to him, and they find out later that apparently Cobblepot did try to kill Thomas that night at the theater, but instead of coming out the back way, instead of going out the back of the theater into the lobby, which was where the murder was, Cobblepot had set up the murder, he went out the alley, which was and the mugger in the alley was just some random dude. Sorry if I spoiled that for you, but it was just a major thing, a big thing that it was like, whoa, so if they had gone the other way, Cobblepot would have been responsible, but he wasn't. And so it turns out, and when they discover this, Alfred's like, okay, Bruce, you pretty much figured out your parents' murder wasn't part of some big conspiracy, so I guess you'll hang up the cape now. But right before that, though, Batman took out one of the Penguin's hitmen, who was also a serial killer known as the Birthday Boy. Yeah, I think that's what his name was. It was Birthday something. Anyways, after that, some newspapers and stuff started to take notice of Batman now, and so Bruce is like, no, I can't stop being Batman. I want to make Gotham a better place. And Alfred says, okay, I'm officially helping you, but we're not just gonna have to build a better Batman. We're gonna have to build a legend. I mean, this was I do love Geoff Johns, and I think this might be, the only other Batman story I think he ever wrote was, like, some parts of that whole Bruce Wayne murder story arc. But this, wow, Johns definitely knows how to deliver Batman. In fact, and he's working with Gary Frank on this, and the two did several issues of Action Comics, which were some of my favorite Superman stories. They're able to deliver a great Batman story with this, and I mean, it's just really, really amazing. I would highly recommend this to all Batman fans. If you haven't got this yet, you should. I mean, I'm pretty sure stores are stocked up on this because of the release of The Dark Knight Rises coming out. So you should run down and get yourself a copy. It's very amazing. Oh, another thing I failed to mention was that usually in this world, Martha Wayne. See, there's a fun fact. Superman and Batman's moms both have the same first name. Anyways, back to my point. Martha Wayne, in this story, her maiden name is actually Arkham. So, that's something for you to think about. And also, thing I said about how there's going to be a sequel, the way this book ends, the final scene is definitely something of a sequel. I don't want to say what it is because, and also another character that's reimagined is Harvey Bullock. For those of you who don't know, Harvey Bullock was like Commissioner Gordon's right-hand man in the animated series. I think that's where they focused a lot, where I think I mostly recognize Bullock from. I don't think I've seen him much in the comics, but in the animated series he was like a supporting character. But they definitely changed Harvey Bullock, because that's another thing I don't really want to say much about this book because it just came out, but it came out almost 2 weeks ago, but man, when I first saw Harvey Bullock, I'm like, wait, that's Bullock? Wow, this is an alternate Earth. And also, the Batman Earth 1 costume is an alternate skin for the Arkham City game, so you may have caught a glimpse of the costume if you have the, alternate skins for Arkham City. But still, this is very nice graphic novel. I give it, I think, 4.5 out of 5 stars. Okay, it's amazing. Definitely recommend picking it up. I mean, DC is really hitting the mark with these Earth 1 lines, because unlike the Marvel Season 1s, which are just like updated origin stories, these are like original origin stories. Okay, they're free of the continuity. Marvel Season 1s are like, just updated a few facts with the origin stories. But these are like brand new alternate Earths. I would highly recommend you check this out. And for those of you, and since I mentioned Superman Earth 1, I'm probably going to get asked this if I'm going to do a review of Superman Earth 1. I'd say those people should wait till next summer. Okay, so that's it for this video. I hope you're enjoying Batman Week. Only 2 more videos left until the release of Dark Knight Rises. Hope you stick around for it. That's all I have to say. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you'll subscribe. Spider-Man 1991 saying see you later.